I hope it's okay. Do you guys mind? I should have asked you first to record for those who have registered and are able to actually be on this. Are you all okay with this, recording this?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. If you feel like you don't want to be on screen, go ahead and go off. That's completely fine. And you can, however you feel comfortable. Hi, Pamela.
Hi.
Um, so I just want this to be available for those who have registered and are not actually able to be here in person. So what I'd love to do first and foremost is I'd love to take some time to ground a little. This is really what I do, is getting in touch with our body. So I'd like to start with that. If this is uncomfortable for you, you don't have to do it. You can just observe. There is no pressure for you to do anything that I'm asking you to do tonight. So I'm just going to invite you for a moment to close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you, and get comfortable in your seat. And if you can, you definitely can, Mary. We will do that in just a minute. I just want to ground first, okay? So go ahead and get your feet flat on the ground if that feels comfortable for you. And if you're in a bed, that's cool. If you're sitting in a chair and you want to put your feet up, that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to get in touch with our breath. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out. If you can exhale longer than the inhale, that signals to your nervous system that you're beginning to send it into rest and digest. So let's do that a couple more times. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And if you can, just notice what you can hear right now. Before we do another breath together, you can let your breath be normal. But right now, just pay attention to what you can hear. More than likely, it's my voice. It could potentially be the hum of the computer. Maybe it's something even further away. Just notice the sensation of hearing and what that's like. A lot of times we don't stop or pause, even just notice the little things. Let's take one more breath in together through our nose and sigh it out. And if it is possible, in this space, notice if there's any part of your body right now that may feel tense or heavy, especially being in a room of people, some of who you do not know. You may notice that your shoulders are tighter or that they're up against your ears a little. Maybe just notice and lower them intentionally. Just pay attention to what the body is doing in this moment. And allow whatever is there to be there. And whenever you are ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes and look around the room. One of the things that really helps with grounding is to orient to your space. So I would encourage maybe just trying to find something in the room that feels comforting or safe. Like right now, I'm looking at a picture of the ocean, and I love that. And then whenever you're ready, you can bring yourself back to the screen. Awesome. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for grounding with me. If that was comfortable for you, awesome. If not, no worries. That's information. What I'd love to do is what Mary said. If you can, in the chat, it would be really cool for you to introduce yourselves and say where you're from, where you are joining from. I clearly am Julie. I am joining right now from Garrison Bay, Washington, which is not where I live. I actually live in Utah. Yeah, Mary, you're in Oregon. I love that. You already actually have your stuff there. That's cool. So love it up
Mary
here.
Page is my first name, and I don't
Mary
like to be
Page.
called Mary. Sorry.
Awesome. Don't even, that's so great. Thank you for clarifying and making sure that I know that. Mary Page, great to meet you. It's awesome to be together. So if you can, go ahead and put probably don't have to put your name, but you can put where you're from in the chat. That would be awesome. And the only other thing I would love to hear from you guys right now is, how are you arriving? Is there a word that describes how you are arriving today? For me, It's anticipation. I feel anticipation to connect with you guys, encouragement that I can be with adopted people. So, oh, tired. Yeah, Jill, I get that for sure. And when you're in Ontario, Canada, oh my gosh, awesome. I'm literally where I am. Canada is right across the bay. It's like right over there. And so when I'm on my phone, sometimes it thinks that I'm in Canada. It's kind of funny. So, oh, yes, Jeremy's in Boise. Amy's in Palm Springs. Mary Page is from Oregon. You feel tired. Yeah. Tired and curious. Such a good word. Tracy, you know that's one of my favorite words. Curious is the best word ever. Love it. Darla is from Oregon. Some hesitancy. Totally understand that. Andrea is from New Zealand. Grateful. Absolutely. I hope I can do this more. Mandy is from Erie, Pennsylvania. She's also curious. Love that. Mandy, I'm trying to remember, how far are you from Schwenksville?
Schwenksville. Where's Schwenksville?
It's near Philly. It's about 45 minutes from Philly.
Oh, I'm probably about 6 hours west.
Okay, cool.
Northwest.
I love Pennsylvania. My youngest lives in Schwenksville. So that's the reason why I was asking. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you and I have ever talked about that.
No, I don't think so.
So cool. There's a connection. Okay, we got to look at all the Oregon folks. That's so cool. White House, Texas, Jane. Yep. Fellow Texan, Jill. And so is Tracy. Tracy is also from Texas. And actually, aren't you and Jane like an hour from each other?
About an hour and a half, yeah.
That's craziness. I love it.
And Jill, hi, I met you in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Austin is a blur, man. I'm like still processing Austin. Good to see you again. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Aren't we all? So Austin, if y'all don't know, I'm sure a lot of you do, but the Adoption Making of Me podcast has events every 6 months. And their last one was in Austin, Texas, and a chunk of us were there. Darla has gone before. She went to the one in Atascadero, California, and they were awesome. Jill also went to that one in Atascadero. That's where I first saw you, met you. So anyway, that's what they're talking about, was the event in Atascadero, or in Austin. Okay, we've got Western New York, Kimberly, right at the end of your road. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize that, Kim. And then anybody from the Southern Hemisphere? I think you're it right now, Miss Andrea. Pamela, but she's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I missed that. Oh, I love Albuquerque. I've been there. It's beautiful. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for sharing. If anybody else has a word, I've heard tired, I've heard curious. Let's see. I think those are the pretty hesitancy was another one. Exhausted. Gosh, guys, I hear that, man. Whew. Okay. If there's any other words you want to go ahead and drop in the chat, go for it. Honestly, the reason I created this was because of what Jeremy said to me about wanting a space to just bring our burdens. Because quite honestly, I feel like we as adopted people have these burdens, and we feel like a burden ourselves, but then we have these burdens that we carry that when we try to talk about them to people who aren't adopted, they don't understand. And so I just wanted to make this space, provide this space to be able to do that, bring whatever comes up. And if you already have questions, awesome. You can just unmute and bring them, and we can all have just an easy discussion is what I'd really like to do. And maybe we need to raise our hands. It's the first time I'm doing this, so we shall see how this goes. But there is no pressure at all to speak. We are just with each other, and silence is okay. And if it would help you guys to have prompting questions, like things that might help you to think of what's burdening you, I have a few that I can put in the chat. Just let me know if that would be helpful for you guys. Yeah, Tracy's shaking her head. But anyone else, if you want to go ahead and ask, go ahead. I will go ahead and offer those. Yes, laughter is the best medicine, y'all. It's the best thing ever. It was making me laugh when everybody was coming in as me. Okay. someone must have raised their hand because I just heard it. Go for it, Andrea.
Hi everybody. Do you guys have like just a deep sadness deep inside, and a chronic loneliness, and I feel like I haven't actually arrived here on the planet, like I'm sort of hovering off the ground. I haven't been able, excuse me, to put like a foot down onto the ground and like have a brick and sort of put it in place, and that's me, and that's and so I can put a foot on that brick and stand on it. That a bit of background is that the biology, the bios, I've found on the mother's side, but nobody wants to know me. And on the father's side, I thought I found a half sister who I definitely connect with, and she's telling me all about our father. But through things do open up here, and in the world, I mean, in the universe, and that there isn't a DNA connection to the man that she's saying is our father. So there's no DNA. So she's 69. She's grown up with this man thinking it's her father. And then I come along, the rank outsider, 2 years ago as the unknown, so her mother and my mother had sex with the same guy, but like, who is the guy? And so through ancestry is that, like, I match with 23,000 third and fourth cousins. And so to go down the track of trying to find out who this guy is, like, is it worth it to expend all the energy? And so, and it's following the DNA, not the story. I've learned that. In order to be able to come home to myself, do I need to go and do that? Or can I have myself for myself and put my energy into who am I, because I've lived this life of being a chameleon, being what they wanted, and now I have no adopted family. We're all estranged. When the adopted parents died, everybody just took off. It's very sad. So it's just me, never married, don't have children, and it's like I've still got some time left on the planet. So where shall I put the energy? And I do think that it's into just me coming home for me, and the other stuff is just external. Yeah. Wow. It was quite a big share. I didn't mean to share that much, but I hope that made sense.
Thank you for doing that.
Thanks.
Thank you, because it helps all of us. I found mine and I thought it was going to be this magic elixir, and it was not. So you decide, and whatever you decide is the right thing for you. It truly is. I would do it again, though. Despite the terrible outcome, I would do it again. And
I've
I say
actually heard
horrible.
that.
It wasn't horrid, but it wasn't a magic pill. It didn't fix it. It didn't fix me. I'm still broken.
Well, I want to challenge that a little bit. And Mary Paige, I will get to you in just a minute. I want to challenge that a little bit, Jill. I do not think we are broken as adopted people. I think we are hurt. And the things that we experienced are not natural. I mean, a baby is not supposed to be separated from their mother, period. And so I think I want to help you and invite you to use different language. You aren't broken, Jill.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I forget the language piece of this, and words matter. So yeah, it's a normal reaction to a very unusual situation.
Exactly. I just am glad that you are here, and you are such a kind soul. You are grounding to be around those that are around you. So grateful for you. And Andrea, you're not alone in that. When I was doing my own searching, I thought that that would be the solution. That if I found my birth father, I'd already found my birth mother, and it was not a good thing. So kind of like Jill, I was not looking forward to the new reunion because I didn't know what to expect. And I thought this would solve all my problems, and absolutely didn't at all. What I realized was I have to learn how to be with me, whether any of this even exists. And that's where a lot of my own work came from. The reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now was because of that. So you aren't alone in that. And I think it's normal to want to search to know who we are. And just like Jill said, she'd do it again, even though it hurt even more, because you find mirrors of yourself.
Well, I thought I had, but it's all turned out that it's not. And so I thought I had found that, but it's not. And also, even if I did find somebody, I would just want to know the story of what he was like and growing up with him and things like that. So even if I can get a name, there's no matches that are close enough to be able to even answer those questions. And also the half sister on the father's side, when I found her, because he was married, and I'm a product not of that marriage, and she said, "Oh, people like you are just looking for money." So there's no connection there anyway. So I'm just giving up really, and it's like if it's meant to be, it will come this way. And it's like, did it really matter? And my intuition is like, no, it's what you guys are saying is that the answer's inside of me rather than that external. But I just yearned for my whole life to see somebody, some kind of recognition of me, that mirroring, but I haven't found it. And I found a half sister I've found two half sisters on the mother's side and a half sister on the father's side. And there's just absolutely no resemblance whatsoever. So yeah, I'll continue on my journey of self-exploration, the archaeological dig, I call it, archaeological dig, going inside and just removing all the rubble that's been put on top of me, with being the people pleaser and the good adoptee. I've been such a good adoptee, guys. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. There comes a time when it's
time
time to stop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea, so much for being here. So good to have you, and you're not alone. Go ahead, Mary Page.
Oh, thank you, Mary Page. And I really want to say, first of all, I'm looking at 19 people. I have had the biggest desire for so long to have a group like this. A little bit about me. I was put in foster care when I was 3.5 years old, and then I was adopted at 6.5 years old. And I will have 40 years of sobriety in December. And I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful I'm used to positions or platforms like this because I wanted to write the 12 steps of adoptees. But I'm so tired of educating therapists and people as to what I believe is we are the most silent minority of the group of the life form. In fact, I believe adoption is human trafficking. I'm just going to say it. I got reunited with my birth siblings, and this is a little Southern humor here. Bear with me on this one. I'm the only college graduate, let alone the only Auburn graduate. They all are Alabama fans. And somebody said, is that why they put me up for adoption? I have nothing in common. That ache, that need to find out who I am, it's an inside job, and nobody outside of me can tell me who I am. But that is the craving that we have as adoptees, I believe, because when that primordial womb is shattered, that connection. You know, my first addiction was people. That was my first addiction. And from there, at 19, I found alcohol. But thanks, Julie. Um, I just had an experience this weekend. My boyfriend's it was his 70th birthday, and his family came in. I don't fucking fit in. It's that core issue of, I call it my right arm missing, but I'm used to that's what I call a family. And I'm used to my right arm not being here, but when I get around a family, the ache comes back. And I end up making an ass of myself because that wound is all I want to do is belong. And I have many places in my life I belong, but it's a chronic thing when it comes, and I'm okay. I am 71 years old. I'm an artist, I'm a writer, and yet I get so little inside of me around families like that. And they know it and they use it against me. I'm just saying. So thank you for letting me share with you, Andrea, because it is an inside job. And I don't know my birth father, but I did find my birth mother out. She was a birthing goddess. There was 12 of us. And pissed my oldest sister in the birth order when I walked in, and everybody said, "Oh my God, you look just like Imogene McGeorge." That was our mother, and the hills of Alabama. So, but I love this. I love the fact that we can come here and talk about that chronic. What is it? The question mark. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mary Page. Very, very relatable. I didn't have 12 siblings, but that's, I mean, thank you for that. I had 4, but all of us have variations of a story like that. So very, very grateful that you're here. And this is one of the things I love. When the podcast that I have, I interviewed Leslie Pate McKinnon and Elizabeth Barber about reunion. And Leslie is a birth mother, and she's like 70, almost 79. And she said, "I'm going to be working on myself till I'm pushing up daisies." And I was like, amen, sister. Like, that was just the coolest thing ever. Like, that's what we're doing. It doesn't matter how old we are, as long as we realize that we are valuable, inherently worthy. So I'm just glad you're here, Mary Page. Thank you so much. I know we have a new Julie Brumley that has joined us. I'm sure who you are. And I don't know why it did that coming in on registration, but if you know how to rename yourself, it would be great so I could actually welcome you. But thank you so much for being here. Anyone else have thoughts that you just want to share and get support with? Yeah, go for it, Amy. Can you unmute? Let me ask you. There you go.
Yay. I just wanted to validate Andrea and say that my whole life I'm 48 and I just found out last year that I was adopted in June, and I've been questioning my whole entire life if I was adopted, and I don't mirror anyone in my family whatsoever, and there's 4 of us siblings. And so when I did find out, it finally I finally was unable to, like, well, it's hard to say. I felt like silence all of these years, like that I wasn't able to express myself until I found out that I was adopted, if that makes sense. Like my intuition was validated. And I'm new at this, but yes, there is this piece of me that is always saying what is and what if, and there's this always open-ended question. And I also wanted Mary Page to feel acknowledged, because yes, I completely hear all of that sentiment about mirroring people. And I finally found my mom, and I don't mirror her, nor do I look like the other 3 daughters that she's had. And so anyway, I just wanted to just say that. I didn't say it very well, but
Yes,
Said
you
it
did.
just
Yes, you
fine.
did.
I'm
You
not
did
used
exactly.
to Zoom. This is like my second Zoom meeting ever, but I just want to acknowledge everybody. And yes, I came in tired, but I feel really good to see for the first time. This is my first time ever meeting people that are adopted. So it brings like tears to my eyes, like to have like community. And I do believe that we are a silent community. Definitely. And I've also wondered, I've heard of like listening like through different podcasts about people having a hard time in this world with grounding when they come from a C-section. And I can imagine maybe a lot of adoptees do come from C-sections. I mean, it depends. My mother was just very young. So there's like this kind of lack of finality of coming to your full breath for the first time. I've heard, and I've questioned that. Is that fact based? Is it scientific? I don't know, but I've heard about it. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, honestly, Amy, I don't know if a lot of us even have any idea how we entered this world. That's part
Yeah.
of the issue with adopted people, right? Like we don't have a birth story.
Yeah.
That is non-adopted privilege. And so for those of, I mean, I have no clue, no clue. I have record, but it says nothing about the birth. Nothing. So
Yeah.
who knows? I mean, it would be interesting to explore, but we'd need birth mothers
Mhm.
and us to figure out, you know, that'd be an interesting thing to research.
Yeah, for sure.
Pamela,
I
I
have
just
heard that. I've heard that
have
about
you?
how important it is to come down the birth canal. Something about the third trimester or something. I haven't had kids, I don't know, but there is something about how nature has it all in hand for the process to follow. And so that, again, I think that there is something about that cesarean birth that interrupts. Again, it's the interruption of the development of the baby and brain and how to squash the head that comes through the birth canal. That I've read something, there is something in that. Same with the babies that go into the incubators and that. And so the separation from the mother, or that the process is not brought to completion. To do with the brain chemistry.
And you can even take it back further prior to birth and gestation, and the stress of the mother is taken in. So
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah. From
So no
conception,
wonder.
or even
Yep.
at conception, that you've got
Mhm.
this woman and this man, and goodness knows what's going on there, and then
Right.
they come together, and then into this, what I think is a toxic soup.
Yeah.
My mother I was the fourth one. She'd already given away others, and she was 32 when she had me, and so I can just I think that I was ejected, but I don't know what type of birth it was. Be interesting but I'll never find out. But I've questioned that, what kind of birth, because I think I came out like a starfish like this. It's like, I'm not coming out because you're going to give me away the moment that I'm born. So I would say she probably had quite a difficult birth, trying to give birth to a starfish that doesn't want to come out. It's like, I'm not coming out because you're going to give me away.
Well,
So
Andrea,
that's how I see it in my mind's head. Yeah.
I just want to say that I'll be a starfish with you. We can all be starfishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I think what we know about how we enter into the world is usually very little. And a lot of times we can get that non-identifying information document, depending upon what state you're in. Now we've got states that are allowing us to have actual birth certificates, which what Mary Page talked about, human trafficking. I feel like that is a human rights violation. The fact that we can't get our actual information, that's so stupid. Like, come on now, we deserve to know our medical history. But one of the things that was really interesting about what I received from California is I was in the process of getting my master's degree when I was looking into finding my birth mother. And so when I was talking to the social worker, she said, I know what you're doing and I know how important it is, because you will harm people if you don't deal with this when you help them. And she sent me 6 pages, and I'm from California, which is unheard of. And in those 6 pages, one of the things that it said was that she had attempted to abort me twice. So maternal stress, that transfers directly to our neurology. The research has been proven. I mean, we see it with, fetal alcohol syndrome. We see it with passing on of alcoholism genetically. Those things, you can't make it up. They're real. So anyway, anyone else have
And
stuff
yet
you
we're
want to say?
denied, and yet we're denied as a group of people. We're denied all of that information. We're gaslit, and well, you were given to a good family, you were put in better than where you would have been, and all of this yes but comes in. And here in New Zealand, we can get the birth certificate, but to get the file, they say that we're denied under the Privacy Act. And it's like, it's about me, you idiots. It's me, my information, and you're telling me under the Privacy Act. So we have to go to court. We have to get a lawyer and go to court in order to be able to get the file. It's, this is 2026. I feel like I didn't think about what's that term that you used? I felt like I don't know about trafficking, but possibly
Human
I
rights
feel like I'm on.
violation. That's what I said. It was a human rights violation.
Human rights definitely human rights violation. But I do feel I'm on the witness protection program because like the whole identity is changed, born here, and then identity changed, and then given to these people, and go forward and love them, and don't complain, and be grateful, for goodness sake, be grateful. Yeah. And so society just cannot see us as people that have lost our mothers. A baby that loses its mother, it's surrounded and, could you coo. But if you're adopted, I don't know, we just seem to go into a different zone with society where it's not warm. It's like, what's wrong with you? So maybe that's where the wrongness comes, because it's like, what's wrong with you? Because this happened. So maybe that's where that comes, thinking that there's something wrong with me. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, Grace, go ahead. One quick thing I want to say I want to acknowledge the comments that are coming through, the dismissiveness, the condescension, the self-righteousness of non-adoptees. Yes, that is awful. And we experience that and feel like we have to defend. There's also what Kim said about feeling like we can be slaves depending upon how our adoptive parents were. I have heard so many stories, y'all. Yeah, about people being adopted to be like indentured servants. It's just unbelievably sad. And it is not our job to keep our parents happy, but that is what we felt like we had to do. And it can feel, because we're afraid we're going to be given back or given away again or whatever. It's just crazy. Please go ahead, my dear. Sorry.
So I'm adopted myself. I was 13 when I was adopted. So this is what I have found out walking through this journey being adopted is your body is in a survival mode all the time. All the time. Like one thing after another, you have to survive. So I was an orphan when I was adopted. I just joined a foster care. That was hard. It wasn't easy. I was in a home group with people, but they were my peers, so I was very comfortable with them. But when it comes to adoption and just base to life, you are in survival mode. What I have found, your body is stuck to please people. You're just trying to survive every single day. Like, I have noticed in my adult life where I have to run away. I have to run away from people. Like they want the control over me. And I'm like, you're not having the control over me. Because just imagine as a 13-year-old girl in a different country, I came from Europe, from Latvia, and you don't know anybody, and you have to figure out new language, you have to figure out new life out here. So I was running in survival mode for probably all my life.
Yeah.
I had to figure it out.
Well, the bottom line is, and one of the things that I say all the time is that that's wisdom. That's
Yeah.
your nervous system's wisdom, because we needed it to protect us in order to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a situation that is very challenging, being 13. Finding out that you're adopted late, like Amy, I feel like that is a crime. These things should not happen. We need to be able to know ourselves. And so I love the work that you've done, though, Grace, about just learning these things and allowing yourself to actually be seen and witnessed, even though it's very, very difficult, because you're still trying to connect to yourself in the process. So really, really cool. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, so Stephen just said my family were nearly all kind to me. The real problem came from people outside of our community. One of those same people is another Ivy Leaguer like yours truly, a guy I've known since high school. He also he's oblivious to the struggles we face psychologically, emotionally, socially, and medically. Yeah, it is beyond frustrating. My own brother, who's adopted, is completely unaware and doesn't want to have anything to do with this stuff, and feels like I am dishonoring my adoptive mother, who I'm with, by the way, drove 20 hours with her. She and I have a good relationship. She has worked through being able to understand what I'm dealing with, because I told her, if you don't, you will lose me, because this is my lived experience, whether you get it or not. And she has chosen, knowing that she'll lose me, that she wants to understand. She's 83 years old and has come to get it. Now, she doesn't get it, but you know what I mean? She has been able to realize I will lose her if I don't. So sad, but true. Sometimes we have to stand up for ourselves that way. Yes, Darla, hold on one second. And then Pamela just said, my ex-wife would say she wished she was oh my gosh. And I completely dissociated the rest of our marriage, and my mind was elsewhere. Of course it was. Of course it was. Why do people do that? Like, I just don't understand that. My adopted brother is like that too. We are estranged now. He cut communication when our adopted mother died. Yeah. Thankfully, we aren't estranged, but he won't pick up the phone when I call. So maybe we are. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to me. Okay, please, Darla, go ahead, my dear.
Yeah, I guess what I wanted to share in terms of the burden, I think it goes on what you've been talking about is I'm trying to understand from a nervous system level and a body level, like, okay, I have been in the healthcare field and I thought I knew stuff, and now I'm like, oh my God, I know nothing in terms of body awareness and how unaware I was. And so now the burden, in addition to teaching myself that, I'm feeling like I'm having to teach everybody else around me the same thing. And it's so exhausting. Like trying to get my partner on the same page with me to understand it, because I am definitely changing as a person. And so he's like, what? What's going on here? And I'm in estrangement, I'm in reunion. It's like I've got all these people that I'm like, okay, this is what I need you to understand, but I don't feel like I'm the one doing all the work.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting. And so, there's times where I'm like, well, they're not going to learn it any other way unless I teach them. And then there's times where I'm like thinking, no, it's on them to do the work to meet me. Anyway, it's just, yeah.
I can relate to this so freaking much, because, Darla, when I started doing this work, my ex was totally shocked. He tried to understand. He actually even listened to my primal wound revelations when it was like for the first time, when I was like, oh my gosh, this is language that I didn't know I needed to read. You either call your partner up with you in the growth or you call them out. And as I did this work, unfortunately, I am not saying this to say I totally am for divorce. That's not it. It just, he didn't want to have anything to do with it. And so, you know, he found someone else and has moved on. But the sad part of that is the whole time I felt like I was trying to fix myself so that I wasn't a disappointment anymore. Like that's how I felt. I don't know if that relates, if you relate to that, but it's hard. Like being in relationship is hard, but we're also created for it. So that's also what's difficult is how do I navigate this as I'm dealing with all of the challenges that I'm dealing with, but this partner doesn't get it and won't. I don't expect them to understand, right? What I expect is that they can accept what I'm actually experiencing as trauma, that it was held in my body before I even understood.
Yeah, and I think I don't have the mindset, I guess, that I'm fixing myself as I'm just like finally coming into myself.
Yes, so good.
Right?
Yeah.
And trying to explain that, it's like, I don't know, it's like it's a foreign language almost, and it's still hard for me to articulate, definitely with other people who aren't adopted, who I know don't get it. But
yeah, I love that, Sai. Maybe do that a lot.
I'm convinced you can't get it unless you've lived it.
Yeah.
You just can't. You can be empathetic, and we do have allies, but unless you've lived it, you just can't. There's no way. You have to feel it. So I appreciate all the allies, and I don't want to throw shade, but as much as they may want to understand, and I'm glad they don't have to experience it. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it really truly is. You're right, Jill. And it's difficult to express to those who don't. I don't ever expect anybody who's not adopted to get it. What's interesting is my kids, they call themselves half adopted because there's part of them that actually gets it because they've seen me, they've watched me in my process. But when I was with them recently, I was showing them something about birth certificates and I was saying how frustrating it was for me. And they looked at me like I'd grown two heads. Like, why is that a big deal for you? I was like, okay, here we go again. You have a birth certificate. I birthed you. You have a birth story. I can tell you what that story is. I don't have any of that. And they just kind of looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, yeah, this is so interesting. You know, it's just, that's why we need this. We need people that actually understand. So I'm so, so glad that we have this. Anyone else? Anything on your heart?
I want to add something.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking all my life to who I was. And in fact, had I not gotten reunited with my birth siblings in 1997, I would be looking here to see who might look familiar. Anybody else? Because I do have, I actually have the actual birth certificate of the youngest brother that our mother had, and she put him up for adoption. So, but besides that, I do not believe in God, and part of that is because of the spiritual abuse I endured once I was adopted, the emotional, physical, sexual, spiritual abuse that I endured. But what I know about looking at 20 of us here, we are incredible human beings. And it is important to find your power and know that because of our legacy, it makes us who we are, and it is our superpower. We have survived this. And I'm not minimizing your pain today or saying that this process is not, so arduous. I mean, I literally came from a weekend where nobody likes me anymore, seriously. And I got yelled at by a 36-year-old woman, and I said, I'm 71 years old. You can't yell at me like that. Because she is intimidated by my power because of who I know who I am. And no woman will ever be good enough for her her father. But it's like I internalize this stuff and it's like, what's wrong with me? I can't get along with people. But that's not true. What my inner knowledge does is separate me from those people that are false, fake, dishonest, not honest, although they may appear it. So it's like a superpower that works in reverse for us. So I just want to commend everybody here tonight. I don't know what the game plan is here. I want to try to, the marketing person that I've been all my life in healthcare, I want to make this like an annual meeting once a week, whatever. Let's get this going. Can we do it? Because we need this. We need to know that we're not broken, like she said, like Julie said. We have a disease of perception, in my opinion, that was given to us at a very early age. And until we understand how to break that code, it will keep us trapped. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I think the important thing to understand, and this is why I do what I do, is our trauma happened before we had language, right?
Yes.
It happened in sensation. And so the reason why I believe somatic work is so unbelievably important for adopted people, and it's hard for us because our nervous system is way more comfortable with a familiar hell than it is with an unfamiliar heaven. And so it's teaching our bodies to build a capacity to hold all this stuff that we've been holding, but give it space to actually breathe, literally breathe. And that's where parts work comes in. That's where we do EFT tapping. That's where we do all of these different pieces that you bring in to be able to begin to get your body to come online. Because for me, I was dissociated from it. My head didn't feel like it was even attached. And my body screamed at me for freaking years. I had all these conditions going on that I had no idea were attached to my trauma. Now I can look back and, knowing what I know, see that they were. So this work has been something that has been so revolutionary for me. And I'm so glad you guys were here, and I want to respect our time. And I know a few of you have talked about wanting this room to be available. One of the things that I do is I have a membership community called The Refuge, and you are welcome or not. There is no pressure here. But one of the things we do in there is this: we just get together. There is nothing, I don't teach on anything. We just hang out together, and whatever is present, we talk about it. Because honestly, we need to do life with people who understand what we're experiencing. And so that's one of the things that I really felt like was needed. And so I will drop a link here so that you guys are able to join if you want. There is absolutely no pressure. I just wanted you to know that it does exist. And what happens in there is there's support, and it's consistent. There's people in there who will respond, me as well. And it's just a wonderful place to be. And so that link will be dropped in a second so that you guys are able to join. My virtual assistant is supposed to be dropping it for you guys just because I wanted you to have it, but there's no pressure. I just wanted you guys to know that this is something that I really felt like was important to do for the community. I know there's a lot of places like Fireside Adoptees, like the Adoptee Healing Collective that exist that are free. I really felt like what was so unbelievably important was that we needed a place where we just felt no pressure and could be with each other. It's just so important. And like, who was it that said this? I think it was Pamela said, she's never been in a room like this. Mary Page said, she's never been in a room like this. So we really need this for each other and to support each other and hold each other up. So thank you so much for you guys being here. And if you even want to chat more, I can drop a link here and you can schedule time to chat. That's fine too. I just wanted you guys to know that we're all here for each other. And if you have anything else to say, what I would love to hear is maybe how you're ending tonight. What is one word that describes how you're leaving. You could just put it in the chat or unmute and say it. It'd be awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Amy.
I just wanted to, I know it might be silly, but I think we can maybe agree we all believe in energy and feelings, because there are things that we can't put into words that we have felt. But tonight is like kind of a cool night because it is the full moon and it is an eclipse, and the full moon's very feminine. And anyway, I just wanted to, that doesn't mean not masculine, but it's a time for emotions and a really beautiful time for release and to think about what we want to bring into our lives. So if anyone wants to do it, it's kind of like if you believe in birthdays and you blow out a candle and you put a wish, it's the same thing about speaking to this earth and to the moon and saying, yes, I would like to release this, or and then I would like to invite this in. And I always love to light a candle, and I'm definitely going to be lighting a candle for all of you all. And this is my first meeting, and just I really value everybody, and thank you so much for having me.
So glad that you're here, Amy. It's really good to see you. I know you've
Thank
been
you.
going through it, so just grateful to have you here.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
guys,
100% on the moon. And it is a she. It's okay.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
is a she.
Yeah.
No shade, men, but it is a she. And I will be howling at
Yes.
11:27. I will
Me
be
too.
howling. So if you feel that, that's Jill over here in San
Uh-huh.
Antonio on her carport, because that's peak for central, those in central zone.
Yes.
love that so much. Thank you for bringing that. It seriously, we feel it, y'all. The astrology impacts us. So I love that. And I love all of your words. Grateful and inspired, relieved, calm, seen. That's a beautiful one. Thank you, Mandy. Relieved, excited. Y'all, it's been so good to be together, connected. Sage, I know it's hard for you because it's late. Thank you so much for being here. Just so grateful to see your face. I love seeing your face. Y'all, this was so fun. So let's try to do this again. And I will try to do something like this again. Also, if you want to join the refuge, please go ahead. It's there for your liking, taking, whatever. But either way, just grateful to be with you guys. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will make, or night, and I will make sure that this replay gets actually sent to all of you so that you will have it. And you can just, hopefully it'll allow you to feel totally seen again if you want to watch it again. So I'm going to do this because watch. You guys ready? If you can do it. Whoa! Let's see if it'll work for you. If you have reactions on, it'll work. But anyway, thanks, you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Thanks, Julie.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you,
Mhm.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Julie.
Yep. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.